What do you do with your bad Sims? Dunk them in the pool and remove the ladder? Feed them to the cow plants? Or lock them up and throw away the key? Hello, and welcome to Pleasant View Penitentiary. This is an overview of the justice system in my Pleasant View save, using SimLogical's Prisons mods, which I will link in the description below. The prison itself is located here, in the poorest quarter of Pleasant View. This section features the cheapest houses, some of the poorest, lowest class families, the flop houses here, the trailer park, the cemetery too, and this is where the prison lives. The prison is the biggest building in the section, and yes, I did build it myself. So inside we find the prison itself and the prisoners. There are three sections to the building. There's the kind of guard section on the left with their kitchen and rest area and a bathroom. They get a tub and toilets in one room. Oh, we do have a ghost on the lot. Somebody did die in prison and is now scaring the life out of Adrian. About to be another ghost. The middle section is where the prisoners live. Also their canteen area and some recreation is here as well. Then the final section is the kind of reform and education area. We've got some hobby objects, skilling objects, anything where they can make something to sell to fund the prison or just to kind of develop themselves further. Now that's in this section. So the way this mod works in its most basic form is it lets you assign prisoners and guards. The prisoners come from your played or towny sims, and the prison guards are set by the prison career that comes with the mod as well. And so Tifa is one of our guards, but she's doing some ballet at the moment, but that's her role in the prison. She gets pulled here during her working hours, so she is a prison guard nights. She gets paid 200 simoleons, and she works every single day for that amount of money. As the prisoners are a combination of custom sims I made to be kind of lifers. Liana is one of those. And there was another one, but they managed to escape. So she's the only one currently that's a full life sentence. There's also some townies I've sentenced to kind of clear the population out, which sounds horrifying, but that's kind of... I never built a retirement home, so when there's too many old sims, they might end up in prison. The mod also does this. It gives you a daily report and budget, so it kind of summarises what you did the day before in terms of punishment, welfare, skills and fitness, morale and security. And I'm not entirely sure how this works, but it gives you a sum total at the end of a per prisoner fee, number of prisoners, and then the friends of the prison give you money as well, and that gives you some extra simoleons for the day. A budget of 1,100 simoleons for today. But it's a good way. It means you can get money through running this lot without having to cheat, although I did once because I ran the prison just that badly. I had no money, so I had to rely on a little bit of cheating. So how do you get sent to prison if you're not a townie or an NPC? If you're in the criminal career, there is always a risk. At the end of each day, when you work in a criminal career, I roll a d20, and if you get a 1, that sim goes straight to jail. I just think there's a general chance of being caught when you're doing kind of daily criminal activity. There are also chance cards in the criminal career, and some, when you fail, they mention getting busted, getting arrested, and so if that happens, they also go to prison, so that can kind of interact as well. At the moment, Cameron broke, who's sleeping here very soundly at the moment. That happened to him. He was the head of the, he was all the way at the top of the criminal career, he was the head of the mob, essentially. But then he failed the chance card and was bumped all the way down to level 1. I decided that meant he'd been turned on by his the rest of the criminal gang, and without their protection, he was easy prey for the police, who picked him up and sent him to prison. The other playable sim that's currently in prison is Regulus. He was caught up in his cousin's get-rich-quick scheme at university. Roger Goth bought a counterfeit machine and started printing money, but he persuaded Regulus to take over for him and actually run the machine, and it was Reg who got caught. The police turned up at his dorm. He was doing it in broad daylight on the front lawn, so he wasn't being very subtle, but he was the one that was caught and sent down. And that was a tough one. Regulus is a knowledge sim. He wanted to go to university since the day he became a teenager, basically. But once he was caught, I had him drop out and took him straight into the prison. I imagine the university board would want to make an example of him. And he is a minor goth. He's not the main goth family. That's Roger, who's the heir to the goth manor. So he doesn't have as much protection, doesn't have as much money. The goths in general don't have much money at the moment, but definitely not Regulus's family. So no protection, no bribery. He's just gone to be made an example of in the prison lots. Sentencing is something I work out for each sim. I do the crime, I'll figure out the time depending on what I want to do, basically. But most often I'll sentence them for the remainder of their life stage. So Cameron, when he ages up to Elder, which is not long away now, he's only got a day actually, he'll be released this afternoon. That's when I'll release them and they can go back to their home lot from then. Same for Regulus, actually. He's been sentenced basically for the whole of his young adult life stage. So when everyone else from his cohort comes back from university and I start the summer rotation, he'll also get released, which again is only in about a day's time. So he's not got long left. He's done most of his sentence. And seasonal sentences are another option, so just staying for the whole of the season for a whole rotation until they can go back out again if it's a more minor crime. On release, I do make some parole conditions. Generally, they're now limited in which careers they can take and how high up the ladder they can climb. Former inmates can be in the culinary, military, casual, music or adventurer careers, and they can't go above level 5. The only exception there is if they were teenagers when they were in prison. Teens that serve their sentence get most of their record wiped clean, so they can go into only, again, those careers, but they can be promoted as high as they can make it, basically. They didn't go to university, so that's what they get to do. So the mod has loads of cool things it can do. It's not just one file, but a whole kind of set of build and buy options, tokens and control options for how you run your prison. Everyone who's in the prison, in their cells at the moment, has their token showing their face, and that's their cell. So for Regulus, I can click on his token and he can do things. So he could plan his escape from here. I could medicate him, which just drains his energy bar, so he's got to go back to sleep. I could feed him in his cell if he's locked down, and I can release him. I can also give him personal security, so I have an overall timetable set, but from this view I could lock him in, lock him out, give him free access, any other kind of options I can assign from this token. The blank tokens with the question mark on, this is where you can sentence people, so you can bring them in. You just click on the family name you want to find, click on their first name, and that will drag them straight in. So it's now 6 AM, that's kind of wake up time, everyone gets kicked out of their rooms, and they're all going to come to this token over here, because that's where their kind of rallying point is. This is another feature of the mod. You set the kind of kick them out, and this is where they come to for the day. From then, in my rules, they're now free to do pretty much whatever they want. They have free access to their rooms at this point. They will get locked out a bit later on, where they have to be outside in the communal areas. But for now, they're pretty much free reign. I run a generally hands-off approach. I'll control my played sim, so I'll control Reg and Cameron a bit while we're here. But for the other inmates, just kind of let them do what they're going to do. So if they want to feed themselves, they can go to the showers, they can go to the toilet, take care of their needs as they see fit, but I don't manage them too much, really. There's also a big emphasis in my prison on reform, so there's lots of access to these skill objects, hobby items. They can kind of build whatever they want, kind of build things and develop their own skills, which is very helpful for Regulus, since he'll be going from here to the rest of his adult life. It's good for him to be building up some skills that he missed from not going to university. Oh, Tifa, you're starving. Get yourself some food. Why not have some mush? So one of the objects that comes with the mod is... Oh, Christian, he's using all kinds of enthusiasm. You can have this canteen item. It's a bit like the buffet table, but if I open it, it's going to show different kinds of mush people can eat. Prisoners can grab a plate from here of different coloured mush and enjoy that, the delicious and nutritious food that it is. She spent all night on the ballet bar, hasn't she? She's drained her needs completely. Oh well. So Tifa and Rocco, those are the prison guards. They're controllable while they're here, but when the day shift takes over, they'll be sent home and the new sims will appear here for the guards for the daytime. These controllers control the rest of your prison security. They're all made after the burglar alarm. That's what they look like. You have a few options. You have your overall security option here, so you can set some care. You can feed all prisoners, medicate them all, or feed people that are locked in. You can do an emergency lockdown, which is quite fun. Sends everyone back to their rooms. That's where they're going to stay for a while. And changing locks is helpful if your sim has figured out the keys and has escaped. Changing locks from 3,000 simoleons means nobody else can use those keys. You've kind of restored a bit of security. Under auto, this is where you'll also set your daily schedule. Okay, so here we have our new shift has taken over. Under auto, if I report, that will show me my daily list of actions. You have up to 6 you can do in a day. I kick people out at 6, they get out of their cells. At 12, they're locked out of their cells, so it's just kind of they can't go in and have private time, basically. They're out in the prison at that point. At 8 p.m, they are kept in, so they go back to their rooms, and then at 10 o'clock they're locked in for the rest of the night. So it's 8 a.m, it's free access time, the Sims can do whatever they like, they can kind of wander around. So Regulus, who's going to be getting released pretty soon as well. There are also visitation options and rights in the system, in the prison. People can call up however they like from the telephone, as long as it's free they can make a call. And they also allow 1 visitor per day, so they can invite somebody over from their home lot, and they can have them come and hang out in the prison for a bit, just to help their social and keep them connected to their home people. Regulus got close to a sim called Stella Tirano, another alien, while he was in university, and they've been maintaining their relationships. They've been in touch, again, pretty much every day since he went to prison. They've got a crush on each other, they've got full relationship. I'll show you here. This is Stella. Yeah, full relationship, they've got a crush, but they haven't actually seen each other in person since he was sentenced. So they're going to give it a go once he's out of prison, she's out of university. And hopefully that'll all work out. Before then, he's going to rant and rave to Cameron, who I think he's made friends with. They didn't know each other at all before this. Are they friends? No way of knowing. No, they don't like each other. I thought they made friends. They are barely keeping it civil. Meanwhile, Christian and Adriana actively hate each other. Oh, he hates Liana as well. There have been lots of fights between those two. Actual physical altercations in the showers mainly. That's where they seem to like to fight. So yeah, I think they're all gathering here to maybe. Oh yeah, yep, she's going to beat him up. Oh, that's a terrifying sight. Little grandma's coming to murder you in prison. But she's lovely to Cameron. She's a big fan. So I hope you've enjoyed this overview through my prison and the way I use this prison mod. Do you use it in your save? Is it something you've set up or would want to, having seen this? I will be linking the Simlogical site down below. It's quite an old site, but it's maintained. All the files are still there, so you can go and access it, go and find it. And I'm going to try out the school as well soon. Possibly in my Build a City challenge, have the schools running a bit more actively there as well. But I have the prison in Pleasant View, and it would be nice to see these two, Cameron and Regulus, get out. And I don't need to use the prison then until someone else gets sentenced. If I'm not playing someone there, I don't run it. It's not part of the rotations. But this season it is. So yeah, thank you very much for watching and joining in. If you've enjoyed it, please do subscribe and like the video. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!